Mr. Stickermania, Louisville, Kentucky, Every Little Thing Beatles, episode 7 with Mikey Arugula.
Guys, I'm happy tonight. You know why? I got the attention. I got all the attention from myself. You know, Mikey likes to talk, and I got a lot of things to show and talk about, Frank. You know, a couple of times here, I've been sharing with a young kid, with Paul, you know, and I love those guys, but at the same time, I love myself. So, Frank, let's have a little fun tonight and show everybody what we got. All right?
All right.
All right. So, listen, I just want to tell everybody the story, even though you know. So, Mikey, for you new guys, I've been collecting Beatle memorabilia for 60 years. There's Uncle Paul. Here we go, man. So, look, I've been collecting, and I get emails from people. Oh, pie, Polly. All right. Let me tell my story, Frank. All right. So I got contacted by someone that I called the Beatle Hoarder. Now, he got angry. He doesn't want me to call him the Beatle Hoarder anymore. So Frank came up with the name Accumulator. Okay? He's a Beatle accumulator. He is worse than me. For like 30 years, he never opened up boxes. All right? Now, I went to his house, I saw all the boxes, and I started like realizing I can't afford everything. So I said to him, look, I know this guy, Frank, and Frank will help you sell some of these things because I'm not buying everything. First of all, I have half the stuff already. And then there's things that I can't afford. I want to give you an example of some things he has. He has things that go for hundreds of thousands of dollars. He has Beatles set lists. He has one-of-a-kind promotional posters that are from stores. He has the Beatle blow-up dolls display that's like 9 feet tall. All right? He's got a yellow submarine like 14 feet in his house. All right? It's unbelievable. So anyway, I'm going to start to open the boxes. He's allowed me to open these boxes. And my goal is to bring a lot of these select things on the show with Frank. I'm going to show you some of the things that I bought, but also Frank is going to have an opportunity to sell some of these things to some of you people out there that want them. Because I don't want them or I can't afford them. Believe it or not, I can't afford all these things. So that's the story. Frank, you found how many of those things? Oh, wait a minute.
He was pointing to the email. He was pointing to his email.
You get a hold of me, that email, Mr._Stickermania@yahoo.com.
Yeah. I would prefer for buying things, you reach out to Frank. Mikey doesn't sell anything. All right. I'm just like the accommodating person here. But Mr._Stickermania@yahoo.com. If you're interested in buying anything that you see that I have, remember, it's not mine. I'm not selling my own stuff. All right. I'll tell you when it's mine or it's this other person's. But I just love sharing everything with everybody if you guys know me. Now, Frank, I thought you were pointing to the things that you got there.
I got a warehouse find of 10 of these. You make me big. A warehouse find of 10 of these. They must have took the records right out of in the Christmas of 1964. And I'm going to sell all. I got 7 left because Mikey bought one. Kevin from Kevin Records bought one, and I kept one for myself. They're $150 a piece to the first 7 people that commit.
Now, Frank, I noticed when you turn it around, does the blue, okay, so the red goes on the bottom on one side.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
They're all like that. They're all like that. So this is the one side, and then this is the other side.
Yep.
Do I have the same? Oh yeah, right there. There we go.
What state did you find these in? What state?
I found them on the East Coast.
Okay. Yeah. And they're all mid condition, right?
Yeah. I bought one and I sold it for $222. And then he sent me a little card, said if I wanted to buy all the other 10, he made me a deal outside of eBay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I remember when you sold the tickets.
Yeah.
to the opening night of A Hard Day's Night, and those got gobbled up. So this is a pretty good item. If you never had this 45 jacket, it's a nice little jacket to have.
They make a lot of counterfeits of this, but if you got the glue lines like that on the side, that's normal on the back side to have the glue lines after 60 years going through the paper.
So you can see that, right?
Let me make it bigger, see if you can get close up.
Nice. All right, so guys,
those were made.
An item?
That's what?
Is it okay if I start to show an item?
Yes.
Okay, so I have something in here that I opened it up. All right, and I saw this at his house. I want to show you what it is because I'm going to be buying this. All right, it's a very rare item. It's a weird item. I don't even think Frank's seen this. Okay, that's a weird item, right?
Yeah.
Now, on some of the groups on Facebook, they claim this isn't from the 60s.
Hold on. The Christmas slaves, they're asking me $150 shipped a piece. $150.
Yeah. So anyway, I can't say that this is from the 60s. I think it is. Some of the people on some of the forums say they don't think it is. Some do think it is. One guy claims he saw it in a bar in the 60s hanging on a wall, but I kind of like it anyway. So I got to make a deal on this. I have no idea what I'm paying for it, but this is on Mikey's list. Yeah, you don't see something like this too often. Now, here's the thing I want to show you, which Frank knows. All right. I am going to show you the original Sokis. Now, people love the Sokis. This is, remember, they only came in Ringo and Paul. These are the original boxes, not repros. Now, what I want to tell you is what you're looking at right now are my Sokis. I had them. But this individual, this accumulator, has an entire box of Sokis never opened. All right? A case. Now, the case itself, I want the case. Okay? I don't want everything in the case. So if you want to buy like mint Sokis, I even think it has the fluid in it. And Frank says it shouldn't have fluid. In other words, you got to take it out. But the fluid is 60 years old. If you want mint Sokis, I never had a problem with my Soki fluid. But I know that he wants $1,200. Once again, it's
$1,200 for a pair.
Yeah, pair. Yeah. You can get some of these things on eBay a lot less. However, they're not mint and the box is probably fake. This is the real original thing right out of the crate.
How many do you think are in the box?
I think there's like 24.
24.
Yeah, so now I don't know if there's 12 sets. In other words, they might not be even. Remember, your box didn't have the same amount in everyone, right? No. So I don't know if that means there's 12 sets. Okay, it might be that there's only there's 18 Ringos for all I know. Okay, right. But I know that he said he's got a set he pulled out. So, Frank, do you want to show us any albums or anything? Because it is your show.
Yeah. We got the 1965 Christmas Rubber Soul in the Shrink stereo. This is a number 2 East Coast Stratton. And it's got the rare hype sticker for Michelle. It says, "Hear the Beatles, hear Paul sing Michelle, original." Beatles version. And this is $500. And the reason they put original Beatles version, because there was like 4 versions of Michelle that all came out at the same time. And this is one of them, David and Johansen. David and Jonathan.
You know what? I never heard of Dave and Jonathan. I might have seen that album, but I don't know. I don't think I ever heard this version of the song.
But that's the reason it says original Beatles version on that sticker.
Right. Yeah.
Because there were 3 other, Bud Shank. There were like 4 versions of Michelle that all came out at the same time. And then we got the summer of 1965 or 66. I mean, this is the original motto, first press, West Coast, with the hype sticker for Yellow Submarine and Eleanor Rigby. And it's in perfect condition there. And that is $600.
Frank, let me say something about Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
I am going to promote something else I'm doing. Okay. I've been doing some shorts on YouTube. If you people ever search for Mikey Arugula and want to see some funny shorts, if you haven't seen them, I go in the streets and I ask people, can you name the 4 Beatles? Okay. Now, believe it or not, half the people can't name the 4 Beatles. And I just want to give you the heads up. The people that can name 3 Beatles always forget George. Okay. I even give them the hint. Okay, the last Beatles, George, who's the first president? They still can't figure it out. But the reason why I'm mentioning it is that overall, 90 out of 100 people, I didn't do all 90 people yet, but on the percentage basis, everybody's favorite Beatles song that they remember is Yellow Submarine. Okay? It's unbelievable. I never would have thought that. I went today to New York City. I was in front of, I didn't put it up yet, in front of St. Patrick's Cathedral. I interviewed a couple from England, a young couple. Sure enough, you'll see Yellow Submarine. Only song she knows, Yellow Submarine. And they're from England. So I can't believe it. You want me to open another thing?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to show you some things that I own, that I bought already. But I want to show you this. I always wanted this. This is big bucks, baby. This is a display from a store, all right, of what they call official pins. Now, you see the things that are on here, these pins?
Yes.
Okay, these are the same thing as what they call the Subhito pins. These pins here are the same characters. These are the Beatles. They call it the Subhito Beatles. All right. And if you go in the back, you'll see what I mean. It says Subhito somewhere. But anyway, here it goes, right back there.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, these are the pins that I bought on that card. That was a beautiful item. I've always wanted that. Then I bought from him this. This is, the rings that you see on eBay, except this is the display card from the store. All right. And you notice they're all different colors. And, it's not, usually you see the silver or the blue, but look at the yellows.
I've never seen the yellow before.
Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty cool. And by the way, they're all sets. The whole thing across is a set. So these are the sets. Have basically.
That's a great piece.
This is a cool piece, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have hardly any age in it all to the backing card.
Yeah. And on the back, you can see it was never even opened.
Wow.
So when I found this item and this other one, Mikey had to dig out some money. All right, because first of all, the real collectors have these already, but they don't come up too often. So right. I went, I said, Mikey, okay, you got to get it. And that's what I'm looking for. But there's so many items I can't buy them all. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up an item now that I have already. So here's another item that I have. It's a good item. So some collector out there, and it's not that expensive. This is a cool item. Not for everybody, but you see this?
Yeah.
This is a matches. You see the matches?
I like that.
This is from Japan, from 1966. But it's a real item because it says the Beatles. And I have this already. So I know this thing he wants to get like $650 for. All right. It happens to be a pretty nice item. All the matches are in here. It's a little unusual. It's not for everybody, but I have this already. That's why I'm letting it
The 650 doesn't include shipping, and it's only to the United States.
Yeah. We can't ship his stuff out of the country. All right. Sorry, guys. If you're out of the country, obviously you can make arrangements with somebody else to get it, and then you can do what you want.
Yeah.
All right, your turn, man. Let's see some good records.
All right. Factory sealed 1966 June. The Beatles Yesterday and Today, and this is a second state that has the butcher cover underneath.
What is it? East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast.
That's beautiful. I mean, that's perfect. It was never open, Frank?
No, you can see that, just barely see the goldenrod inner sleeve in there.
Wow. And how much you want for that?
$6,000.
How much?
$6,000.
I guess I'm not getting that one. But I like it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
And this is not for sale. This is the only butcher cover I have to show right now. This is my first state, East Coast. It's still in the shrink, number 2, Scranton.
Right.
There can only be less than 200 of these in the world of first state that still exist in the world.
And it's also stereo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous even holding on to it.
No,
And
I want to get a first state. I want to get a first state, man.
COA from Heritage Auctions in Texas.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I'm gonna have to make a little extra money somehow. Because Mikey should have a first state. Let me see what else.
You got to be one of the 200 people in the world that own a first state, Mikey.
Well, there's probably more than that. They just haven't surfaced yet. You know. So here's another item that Mikey has already. A matter of fact, you can see it back here. Let me back for 1 second. You can see here, I have a box. That's the Bongo Box. Now, I don't have these bongos. These bongos are the rare bongos. This is the box. All right. Am I holding it up right?
Yep.
The bongos are very collectible. This is what they call a number 370. A number 370. The box itself turns into a display item, but we're not going to pull out the tabs because we would, we want to keep the integrity of the box. But these are the bongos. Now, these labels that you see on these bongos, there are 2 versions of them. This is the rarer version of the bongos. This label matches the label that's found on some of the Mastro guitars on the cardboard box. A matter of fact, I have a Ringo drum I've shown that has that same label on the outside. So this is like the original version, I believe, of these drums. Now the drums themselves don't come with the pamphlet. The pamphlet's not included in this drum set.
Elliot's a little confused. The 15-year-old. A first state means the trunk cover was never pasted over. this is the way it was intended to sell in the store the first time before they all got recalled. They only lasted in Sears and Wallach's out in LA for a couple hours before all the Capitol reps had to go and take everything out of the store.
Yeah. Yeah. So Elliot, then the first state means there's the original cover like you saw. The second state means that there has the pasted over yesterday and today late cover over it. And then when Frank gets to it, it's the third state. He steams it off. Now it looks like the first state, except Frank took the cover off. And you could tell, usually you could tell that something's been steamed off. I mean, that one doesn't look that good.
That's a West Coast that I won at the auction in the Beatles Fest in New Jersey.
Right. That's the one you're going to give away, right?
Yes. When we get to 2,500, we need about 35 more subscribers.
Come on, let's get them, man. I need that record. Am I allowed to win it? No, I can't.
Yeah, you're allowed to win. Sure.
Well, what am I going to do to win it? I'll get you 35 subscribers right now.
I'm sure you could. All you have to do is call you know who. The one you did the video on with Guy, what's his last name?
Who? Oh, Gus?
Yeah, Gus. Yeah, Gus.
Gus. Yeah.
You've had 6,000 views on that.
No, this is unbelievable, everybody. So once again, Mikey doesn't really, like, I'm like a guest on everybody's channel. I did this interview with this guy, Gus Lopez. Now, he collects Beatle edibles, all right? Like edible stuff that has the Beatle name on it. He's a major collector. Nicest guy. He also collects Star Wars, but I didn't go anything with Star. I did an hour-and-a-half interview with him. If you look on YouTube for Mikey Arugula with Gus Lopez, 12,000.
Wow, I had to watch it in 2 parts.
Yeah. 12,000 people have watched it. It's only been up a week.
Wow.
That is the most, that's the most views I've ever had. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
Danny. Yeah. I can't believe that 12,000 people actually wasted an hour and a half of their life on Mikey. But I loved it. Yeah. I'm looking to do more interviews like that. But for right now, I'll have to settle with Frank.
Yeah. Hey, we got Chicago coming up in August.
I'm looking forward to it. And by the way, everybody, go to the Fest for Beatle fans in Chicago. Not to go to the marketplace. There's probably not a lot in there to begin with. But here's the best part about the Fest for Beatle fans. You get to hang out with Mikey and Frank and Travis and all the other people that have come there. All right? We want you there. You hang with us. First of all, I guarantee you, if you come to Mikey, you see this shirt, you're getting one. Okay? I ordered just now from T-Shirts Express. I ordered another 50, 60 shirts. There you go. T-Shirt Express makes these for me. All right. And I just told them I need more sizes. And I ordered some short sleeves because it's the summer. So he told me I should get some short sleeves.
You should. Are you afraid to show your arms there or something?
You know what it is? I like the long sleeves, but I know a lot of people don't. So and plus he told me, Mikey, you're going to save some money. So when I heard that, I said, all right, let me get some short sleeves. What is that? Oh, that's the material from the bus, right?
Yeah, I got this from Uncle Paul today.
Uncle Paul, what are you going to Frankie for? What happened to Mikey? You should be telling me about this stuff.
A 2-inch by 2-inch fabric piece from what the backing seats when Beatles City had to restore the Magical Mystery Tour bus. And this is available up for sale for $100 tonight. $100.
Frank, here's a question for you because I really don't understand this. There's a lot of Magical Mystery Tour buses. I go to Disney World. It has a plaque. Okay, it says Magical Mystery Tour bus. I once went to Festa Beatle fans. Okay. They had on display, I'm talking about 15, 20 years ago, a Magical Mystery Tour bus. I go to Liverpool. I see 5 buses in Liverpool. Matt, where's the original bus?
The original was at Beetle City for many years, and then the Hard Rock Cafe of Orlando bought it.
Right. That's why I saw it in Orlando.
Yeah.
Right. What did they do? They cleaned out the seats and redid them?
Yeah, they redid the seats in blue. They used to be red, and now they're blue.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. All right. So you're telling me if I look at the one now in the Hard Rock.
Yes, that's the real deal.
Yeah.
That's the real deal.
Okay. Yeah, I got a picture of me and my kids when they're all young in front of that bus at the, I think you're right, it was the Hard Rock in Orlando.
Yes.
At Universal.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that's what, not Disney, it was Universal.
All right, Mikey, you're up for an unboxing or something?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Before I get to it. So, everybody, hopefully, have you seen this video? Have you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen it.
This is another thing I got. I got Ugly Paul here. Hey, Ugly Paul, how we doing there? How we doing there, baby? Anyway, this is Ugly Paul. This is original, though. A matter of fact, I'm going to show you what this is from. Oh, no, I can't. It's locked. There's something called the Beetle Bendy. It's smaller. This is a large head for the Beetle Bendy. It is funny looking, even though it's 6 years old. And it looks like also a dog chewed off the nose a little. Either that or he's got a bad case of dermatologist.
Huh.
You know, he got to get to a dermatologist quick. All right.
But
Anyway.
there's probably only a handful of those that are left in the world there, Mikey.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, I bought these things. I got all 4 of them. Okay, these are like, they're made out of plastic, but they're from Scotland from 1963. And I bought these. So you can see every time I open up a few boxes, I'm buying something. Hey, Don Ho. Okay. All right.
Elliot, you're only 15 years old. I've had the McFarlane Spawn Yellow Submarine many times, but I don't focus on that. That's too new of an item. That's made in the around 2000. But Elliot, you give us the spirit, because Mikey and I won't be around much longer, and you, little Jack and Elliot, you're gonna hold the flag and keep the Beatles going.
Does Elliot go to the Festa fans?
I don't know. He's only 15 though.
All right, but he's with his dad or his mom. Yeah.
Mikey Daniel has a question for you.
Mikey, do you have something that the Beatles have worn?
No. Why? Do you have it? Can I buy it from you? No, I don't. I don't have anything they've worn. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Ringo slept on this.
The bed sheets.
Yeah,
right?
bed sheet. Ringo slept on the bed sheet.
Yeah, but look at what it says on there. Doesn't it say Ron Delnner?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was something that Ron Delnner came out with at that hotel. He bought up all the cups and saucers and the bed sheets. And Ron Delnner was a concert promoter. All right. He became a concert promoter, but he probably made so much money selling this Beatle nonsense that's how he got into it.
Barry Cash is asking about the Magic Mystery Bus.
The Magical Mystery Tour slots. Here you go, Eric. Eric Cash. You know him, Mikey.
I sure do. He's the most talented artist. I have from Eric a few of his items. Nice ones.
When I went to Abbey Road on the River last weekend in Jeffersonville, Indiana, right across the river, they had three great big portraits hanging from the bridge that had Eric Cash on the bottom. We took some pictures of it.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Oh,
I have had the deco promo, the pink promo for My Bonnie and I sold it for $1,500.
Yeah,
John.
John.
Yeah, that'd be expensive.
Yeah.
Boy, Elliot, we need to get you and Little Jack on the same live stream, don't we there, Mikey?
Sure, why not? Why not?
Daniel, Russ Lee's.
Oh. So I have something here.
Mikey, you know all about Russ Lee, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Russ Lee, that's another thing. I interviewed him. If you search Mikey Arugula Russ Lee on YouTube, you'll see a little video I did with him. He was the owner of the drumhead from the Ed Sullivan Show. He actually sold it to the gentleman who died this week.
Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay, yes. Jim Irsay happened to have died this week, but he was the gentleman who bought from Russ the Ringo's drumhead from the Ed Sullivan Show.
You want to show it? I'll go you now. If you want to show it, go for it.
This is my 1965 Aladdin Industries lunchbox in near mint condition.
It's perfect. How much?
And a 3,300 for both of them.
You know, Frank and listeners, I would say if you told me 8 weeks ago that you were going to sell that for $3,300, I would go, it's too expensive. But some of you have to hear, if you don't know already, that a pink notebook or some 3-ring binder.
Pink, lavender.
Yeah. Tell them how much it went for.
$3,600.
Yeah. Just because the color was a little different. Then there was another thing that was sold. Oh, the pin. The pin. The craziest thing, that pin.
Okay. Two Hell with the Beatles.
Yeah. I hate the Beatles. Sold for
no,
like
two Hell with the Beatles. No, you're right. It was I Hate the Beatles.
I hate Beatles. It sold for $2,450 or something.
And there is a two Hell with the Beatles also.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that's ridiculous. But once again, if you're a collector like me and that's the only thing you need and you happen to have a lot of money, it's no big deal. But most people can't afford a quarter pin for $2,450.
Right.
Yeah. But
because I sold the Washington D.C. pin from the February 11th concert. I sold that at New Jersey to Annular, the Mexico buyers. I sold it for $750. So I can't believe the pins are gone up that much in price. Yeah, I saw the billboard. That was Perry Cox sold the billboard. April 1964, the Beatles had the first 5 on the charts, and Can't Buy Me Love, it just zoomed to number 1.
Yeah. So Heritage just posted some items for an upcoming.
Hey, Johnny Ramone, I don't agree with that. Perry Cox sales mean everything.
Yeah. I just want to tell you, the first concert ticket, okay, just went up on Heritage for a future upcoming auction.
A stub or the whole ticket?
No, the whole ticket.
You know what? My guess it'll go for that much.
The starting bid is $50,000.
Wow. I was going to say $5,000.
No, $50,000 is the minimum. Go to Heritage and look it up. It's up there.
So me and Mikey are going to be in Chicago. It's the 8th, 9th, and 10th of August.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Once again, like I said, we just spend hours BSing. It's fun. Yeah. It's like a club. And we want more and more people to hang with us. And it's just a blast. It's a blast. because the chance of me finding something in that place to buy is like, very small. But it's a lot of fun running into people and then, getting to see some Beatle celebrities. Frank, do you have any of those original Capitol inner sleeves for sale?
I think he asked me that last time.
Elliot, you're really commanding the ship here. Is anybody else on this show?
Huh. Elliot, 15-year-olds got to ask a lot of questions. Yeah, I have a batch of these. Elliot, get a hold of me at Mr. Stickermania, Mr._Stickermania at yahoo.com, and I'll get you a whole set of Capitol inner sleeves.
Elliot, they're making you go to school in the summer? Yeah, and it's in August. You're going to still be in school? Oh, yeah. They're working you hard.
All right, Mikey, I got to try to sell these one more time because I haven't sold any yet. I'm going to have to sell them on eBay, I guess. I have one up for $222 on eBay, but I'm willing to sell them at a discount of $150 tonight on my live stream shipped. These are original, authentic, October 1964 VJ Christmas sleeves. This was the last thing that VJ ever produced as far as a Beatles product.
And those faces of those Beatles is from the Pictures and Stories album.
Yes. And I have 7 of them. So if you want one at 150, you better commit pretty quick.
All right, let me show. I'm going to give these guys a quiz. There's no prize, though. All right.
No trivia question.
Something. I'm going to give you 3 questions. All right, because I know you guys like these little games we play. So first of all, I'm going to show you these pictures. Okay. These are original, that came out in 1964, right? This is the set. First of all, who was the artist? Then, what was it also used for? On what Beatle collectible product? All right. And then the last thing is, what was the store? Even Frank doesn't know this one. What was the store promotion display card? What was the food product that was tied in with these pictures? All right. So the 3 questions are: who's the artist who did these? And by the way, if you look closely, the artist is on the picture, so you should be able to get that one. Okay. All right. His name is on the picture. That one's like a freebie. All right. Then you got, what was these pictures used on? Which Beatle collectible product? And then the third thing is like, there was like a giveaway of that product. If you sent away and you wanted to get these pictures, you had to buy a certain type of food. Okay? What was the food? Does anybody know this? First of all, the first thing, can anybody see the name?
Not hardly.
Frank always says, Eric Cash, you need all 3 things in the line.
Huh.
I need all 3 answers, not just one answer. Eric had one of the answers. The artist you should be getting for free, man. That's a giveaway. It's on the picture. Can you see the name?
No, almost. I can see Robert S. Thomas. What's the name?
I'll tell you the name. You guys are not. Anybody want to try? No one's coming up with the answers, right, Travis?
No.
No.
All right, I forget it. All right. Robert Thorne. He was the artist.
John H. came up with that.
The stamps. Okay? And then, believe it or not, baked beans. There's a baked beans promotion.
Baked beans.
Okay?
Nobody would have got that. No.
Now, if you want to see the baked beans promotion poster, you're going to see it because the aggregator has it.
So does that have to do with the Heinz full-size portraits? No,
nothing to do with that. It's another company that sells beans.
Heinz made pickles, and they also made baked beans. That's why I said.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a different company on the beans.
All right.
You can Google it too. What else you want to show me? Anything?
Set autographs. It's original flyer for Sweden of October 1963. And you see they played in Gothenburg on the 27th. This was only a few days before the Beatles performed on Swedish Drop-In. And that's one of the greatest YouTube videos that really show the Beatles at their peak as far as performing live before they came to America.
Wow.
They did 4 songs. But the evening show, they traveled 500 kilometers in a bus. And the evening show, they did 3 shows that night. And this is a paper-thin, full-size ticket that's signed on the front by John Lennon and Paul McCartney. It's hard to see.
Yeah, it looks like there's 2 different color inks. Is blue and red?
Yes, blue and red. And on the back, you got George Harrison and Ringo Starr, and you got Ringo Starr again on the stub. He signed it twice. And it comes with a COA from Roger Epperson that works for PSA DNA out there in California that does the Pawn Stars authentications. And the price of that is $17,000.
Wow. Nice. Henry, I've been collecting Beatle members since I was a kid. I'm now 74 and still collecting. Hey, Henry, nice to meet you. Henry, you could also write to me. I love to learn more about your collecting. My email is really easy. It's Mikey Arugula Gmail. Well, once again, I'm not looking to sell you anything. I just would love to connect with you. Mike, anybody that wants to connect with Mikey, MikeyArugula@gmail.com. I'd love to learn more about what you got. And if you got some good things, maybe Frank would let you show it on the show. You know? Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, Elliot, Mikey might have been doing this. I started collecting in the early 70s. Mikey might have started before me, but we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah. Look, I've been collecting since I was a little kid, where you could go in the store and buy the stuff for 74 cents. I remember taking my bike, just like Paul took his bike to meet John. I took my bike to the deli. In New York, they call it a deli, where you get a sandwich, and on the counter were the Beatle cards and baseball cards. Sometimes I bought baseball cards. Sometimes I bought Beatle cards, And I remember when they came in with the gum, but then it changed. Sometimes they came in just the clear plastic, and the cards came in groups of 10.
Whoopi's got a question. This is the goldenrod inner sleeve from the summer of 1966. It came in the butcher cover. And you see it has a lot of other artists on the sleeve. There is somebody, Mikey pointed out, there's somebody that's selling one that's a counterfeit that's like this, that has a great big picture of the Beatles on the bottom, but that is not real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People that are on my list, I appreciate you taking my emails, my videos I send you. I figure you like them. If you ever want me to stop, though, you can always tell me, and I don't want to intrude on your privacy. So if you don't like me sending you some of these links, just let me know and I'll stop. I wanted to show one more item tonight. Once again, this is another item that this happens to be mine, but I know he has a few of these. and they're very nice. I don't know what he wants for them, but I don't think they're going to be that expensive. And what makes his different, though, other than mine, when I show you this, is that so these are. Hang on a second. These are what they call the Vulpi Pictures. Okay. Now I have the full set. The set is mint, so I'm not going to open it up. But these are what they call Vulpes, VOLPE, not the Thorn, the Vulpi Pictures. But the difference in the one that the aggregator has, or the accumulator, you call them accumulator? I don't know why I said aggregator. All right, yeah. I can call them that also. The accumulator, he has these, except it has a seal, a card. It says from Capitol Records.
I was going to tell you that. I was going to ask you that. Capitol. What? Yeah, I've had that card before. Curtis, compliments of Capitol Records.
Yeah, how do you know that?
I've had it several times.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is that it also comes with, he bought them in the record department of a store that was very popular if you lived on the East Coast of the U.S. called Corvettes. All right. He has the price that he paid for them. It was 44 cents. So he still has the Corvette sticker. And each of these things are in between a Corvette's kind of like piece of paper. It says Corvettes. So Corvettes was known, for you older characters out there, you'll confirm it with Mikey. Corvettes had the best record department, like in New York at the time. That's where you went to get your records for $1. It was a discount place. You get a Beatle, Meet the Beatles for $1.99. Okay? You know, imagine you paid $1.99 for the album. And I think the 45s were 35 cents. EJ Corvettes, not EJ, EJ, exactly. But Corvettes with a K.
Look at the condition of that picture sleeve.
That's perfect. Perfect.
And it's even got the record that has Walter Halfner on the B side as credits. Look at that, a mint record too.
How did you get that one? That's a good story, that one.
Yeah, I got that last week. I'd sell that for $125.
That's a good one.
I have the same condition of Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane.
Yeah.
You don't get much sleeves much nicer than that. Perry Cox sells these things for $500 a piece.
And how much you selling it for?
$125.
That's a bargain. I want to say something. I don't always agree with Frank on his records, but I will tell you, we agree on the Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane. That is the best 45 released. Okay, by the Beatles. All right. That record was transformative. When that came out, when the Beatles were on the Hollywood Palace, and you saw them for the first time with mustaches, and then you could go buy that record, that was like.
Do you know why I think this song was rushed released?
Why?
In the beginning of '67, because the Monkees were so big that the Beatles had to put out something.
I don't know. I don't know if they rushed release it. That was just like, they're both masterpieces, by the way.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the Beatles per se. But once again, there's a guy on the internet, not about Mikey now, that will teach you how to play an acoustic version of Penny Lane. All right. He plays the guitar. There's no singing involved. And he talks about how the genius of Paul McCartney with the chord structure and about the song. If you're a musician, write to Mikey Arugula or Gmail, and I'll send you the link. That's nice.
That's a ticket stub from April 1964 in England when the Beatles were at the top in England after they came back from performing the Ed Sullivan, and look at all the artists you got for £2.50. You got to see all those artists.
Yeah. Now, how much is that?
The booklet and this ticket stub is $500.
You know what? Once again, that's a bargain. I really think that's a bargain. All right. When you compare it to what the price is for other things in the U.S., the reason why it's less money is because it's in England. If you had an English audience totally, that thing would be 5 times as much.
Right.
That's a very valuable item. That's a nice item. I got to think about that. If you still have it in a few weeks, that's a great item, man.
How much was a Strawberry Fields Penny Lane single? $125. You better grab it before somebody else does. It is considered the best two-sided 45 7-inch record that was ever released in rock and roll music history. Do you agree?
I love it. Once again, I love it not just because of the 2 songs they are, but because it was a transformative period in America, in innocence of the Beatles to the mature Beatles. It was so many things going on at that point. It was the height of, it was the summer of love period before Sgt. Pepper, right? Like it was released in December. Like someone said, it was like for Christmas it came out. When did it come? When was it released?
I thought it was. Yeah, you're right. It was late '66. It must have been November of '66. Paper Get Better, Greater, and Rain is a great one too.
Yeah, but in other words, when you say the end of '66, I already think of it as in terms of now it's a new period. It's the '67. It's the song. Yeah. It's the hippy dippy. It's the bell bottom pants. In '66, when I went to see them at Shea Stadium, there was in the summer of '66, there were no bell bottoms. There were no mustaches.
That's the Beatles on stage at the Indiana State Fair on September 3rd, 1964. And you can see over on the side, Bill Black's drum set. That was one of the opening bands. And I got the evening ticket when they played at the grandstands. The demand was so high, the Beatles played twice in the same day. They played at 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And this is the grandstand ticket. And this is the program. This was September 3rd. And my dad took the family September 5th, 2 days later, and we saw the Osmond Brothers open up for Andy Williams. And in my mind, I still can see there was Beatles buttons and Beatles memorabilia all over the place. It was just chaos. The girls broke windows. They did everything. It was just a madhouse.
That's great. One of your watches mentioned the fact that this week we lost Rick Derringer.
Yeah.
And Rick Derringer, obviously, he was in many bands, but he also played in the All-Stars with Ringo. But
it's claim to fame for me is the McCoys when he was Rick Derringer. And Hang On Sloopy, they redid the song and they made it a #1 hit. And it's still the theme song at football games in Ohio State College.
Yeah. No, listen, he was a great guitarist. Once again, we get off the Beatle topic, but he had Free Ride, Hoochie Coochie, Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, Edgar Winter.
Bury the Remains are in the '66 program.
Bury the Remains.
Bury the Remains opened for the Beatles in 1966, and Mikey Arugula saw Bury the Remains open up for the Beatles at Shea Stadium.
Well, I don't really remember them. If they opened up for them, I remember the Circle, Red Rubber Ball. I think the Ronettes. I remember certain groups, but I don't remember the Remains. but I'm sure if it says they were there, they were there. But I don't have the memory of that. You know,
No,
I just remember.
Eric Cash, this is a package deal for $500.
What I was going to say is I have two distinct memories. I remember when John started with Rock and Roll Music by Chuck Berry. Okay,
Yeah.
That's how he opened the set. And I remember hearing If I Needed Someone by George Harrison. Okay. I don't really have, because this is how life is. They only paid for like 28 minutes. I don't really remember remembering the other songs. I could look it up. I could see it. But the memory of hearing John sing It's Only Rock and Roll Music, and then hearing George do If I Needed Someone, I remember that.
Well, they opened with Chuck Berry. Who did they usually close with? What artists?
Little Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long Tall Sally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember pictures of Matchsticks. Man, that was Status Quo. It wasn't Status Quo.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's a song from '67.
Oh, okay.
So, Mikey, I told you I was working on that scrapbook deal, and I have a 1964 scrapbook that's all about September 4th in Milwaukee. You know, the ticket, the program. Even in Milwaukee, they had a special program besides this. It was a little white pamphlet, and I have that coming too. And then I also won the scrapbook for September 11th. Jacksonville, 1964, all about the Jacksonville, Florida concert. And it has in the scrapbook, it has almost a complete ticket for that Jacksonville show. You know, that was going to be segregated, and John Lennon got upset, so then it wasn't segregated. And then there's ticket stubs for the Rolling Stones, the Beach Boys, Dave Clark 5, and Peter and Gordon are all in that scrapbook.
You know what we could do? We could do a scrapbook show, because I have a scrapbook that has a lot of goodies in it that I bought a long time ago. I have a scrapbook that's in my pile of boxes here that I bought. I don't remember why I bought it. And the accumulator, he's got so many scrapbooks. I started opening them already.
Huh.
So much work goes in these scrapbooks, and we were going through the pages. I can't even figure out why he bought some of these things, you know. But there's sometimes in a scrapbook, you're buying it for one item,
Right.
Okay,
One rare item.
Just one item. It could be a letter. It could be a ticket. It could be something in that scrapbook that is the reason to buy it, you know. But the effort that people put in to cut the magazines and to put the newspaper articles in and everything, it's amazing.
Yeah, I told you, you remember I had that scrapbook from February 11th, 1964, Washington, D.C., that had special photos of the Beatles on stage at the boxing arena, had a ticket stub for the concert, and it even had 3 autographs of John wasn't there. He was gone with his wife, but had autographs of Paul, Ringo, and George signing. And the guy took a photo of him holding on to the scrapbook, and he was right next to those 3 Beatles.
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool. And something I won earlier today on eBay that you might like, Mikey. There was a 4-inch by 4-inch bed sheets section that the Junior Achievement sold in 1964 after the Beatles were at the San Francisco Hilton, and I won that today.
You won that today. Good thing I didn't buy it. I was going to bid on that thing. I saw that.
You would have bid me up the last 2 seconds.
Listen. We got to coordinate, because that would be the worst thing.
I won it for $155, and if you would have made a bid, I would have paid $240.
Yeah. And you would have gotten it, but you would have overpaid, and then you would have had to charge people more for it. So I'm better off not buying anything and letting you buy it.
One other thing before we close this out, this is our 1,000th. We have 1,000 videos now on YouTube.
Wow.
Stickermania.
Yeah. And I appreciate you inviting me on this show. Did we lose? How many people did we lose since we got started?
We
Is
have
anybody-
we're up to a peak now, 43.
All right, guys. Guys, wait a minute. I got to bring my friend back. Because I want to tell you, with this guy, I get a lot of views. Hey, it's Mikey here. I'm here with Frank. Frank, I love you, Frank.
All right,
Look, I'm covering my face. Frankie, baby. Frankie.
Hey,
What's the dead wax? What's the dead wax, baby? What's the dead wax?
Oh, yeah, I got to talk about that. Dead wax.
I'm covering my face. It looks real. Give me the dead wax numbers.
-1. Stereo.
Yeah.
68 pressing of Beatles for sale. Your buddy Beatle Ron got one of these, and he played it yesterday, and he says it's what did he say? It's candy for the ears. He says it's just amazing.
Beatle Don, you mean, right?
Beatle Don, yeah.
Yeah, Beatle Don. Yeah.
The puppet mix.
Beatle Don, we love you. Beatle Don is on my show once in a while.
So it has sold in the UK along the label. And then on the other side, it doesn't have sold in the UK. So that was a mistake. They have two different labels that came out in late 1968, but it has a -1 true tube cut of one of the best sounding Beatle albums of all time, Stereo, Beatles for Sale. Price on this is $250 shipped. Near mint to
God, Travis, you got to give me the full screen once in a while, man.
Yeah.
You give your dad the full screen. How come I never get the full
It
screen?
won't let me give you the full. I tried to cut back to us. Every time I try doing that, it does that. It won't let me go past.
You're going to get better at this. You better start working it out. How come I don't get the full screen?
No.
All right, what else can I show you?
You're doing unboxing.
No. Well, I guess we're going to run out of time. I also got this. This is the first thing I bought from the hoarder. I call him the hoarder. Okay? I got so many things that I plan on buying from him.
Mikey, are you a Yankees fan?
I hate to tell you. I'm a Met fan. Okay? I mean, I like the Yankees, but I can't even tell you who's on the team. The last time I looked at the Yankees, I had Whitey Ford and Elston Howard and Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle. Okay?
He doesn't like your Beatles puppet. He says it's going to haunt him forever.
I know. It's scary, that thing. It's creepy, right? It's a real creepy item. All right.
You got a couple questions, Mikey.
Yeah. I'll get some friendlier things. Hold on. I'll get one more friendly thing. I've done these guys before. Hold on. There were so many Beatle characters, man. Wait, watch this. I'll show you all these Beatle characters there were for kids. Look at this one. Okay? Ooh. Hey, Paul, this is like Paulie Playhouse, man. This is kind of like the stuff you would do. Ooh. Wait. Then I got this guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Look at his Beatle haircut. Right? Wait. Look at now I got these guys. The Mexican Beatles.
I like that.
These are cool.
Yeah.
These are really, by the way, these cost a lot of money. These are big bucks. All right. I got this guy like in the bag, never opened. I got a few versions of these things. But notice his body. It's very similar to the Remcos.
Yeah.
Right? It's a similar hard body Remco, but he's got a big head. You know what I can do, though? I can stick this head on here. Look. Wait, I'm going to stick his head on. Now I got a whole body for him. Wait a minute. I'm going to stick his head in here. Oh, yeah. Look. I got a whole body now.
No, but that's going to haunt you.
All right. Anyway, I'm just having fun, guys. Though I don't want to give you any nightmares.
I don't know what the bear brick.
I don't have the bear brick. I've seen that on eBay, but I don't really even know what that is. What's the bear brick? You know?
I don't know.
I've seen it though. I don't understand what a bad brick is. Someone's got to explain to me what it is.
Hey, Mikey, next week I'm gonna have a 5 foot by 4 foot blown up photo of girls at Shea Stadium in the audience. So that'll be pretty cool.
He's asking about this.
Guess how much it's costing me to get that shipped for Virginia? That 5 foot by 4 foot blown up photo. Guess how much it's cost me to have it shipped?
$300.
$225.
Okay. I know.
The Ringo and Paul McCartney Sokis in the box.
I think he's talking about these though.
Oh, maybe he is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those aren't
these go for a lot of money now. They go for a lot of money.
What would you estimate the value to be of them?
I think this goes for like $700 or $800 now.
All right.
And this one also is a little less. But these two together, I would say, are at least $1,500.
Yeah.
And then they have that thing framed. It's not framed, right?
It's not framed that I'm getting now.
Don't forget, if you guys want any of these things, right?
Sokis.
Yeah, so Sokis is $1,200. You get a hold of me at Mr_Stickermania at yahoo.com.
They're better than this.
I'll get you a set of brand new old stock that's in better condition than what's Mikey's got.
Yeah. These are in good shape, and these are original boxes. But they're actually going to be better than this.
Yes.
Yeah. So did we run out of time? It's 9:35.
Yeah.
And if you ain't got anything else you want to show?
You want to do one unboxing?
I got a lot of energy, but I don't want to lose the audience.
We're starting to lose.
I'll show you something. Okay, I wasn't going to show this, but I'll end with this one. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I got to get this. Hold on. I don't want to get killed here, man. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second.
Keep them coming, guys. That's what Daniel says.
Yeah, hold on. I can do this all night. All right. So I just want to show you something. I got this. I'm surprised Frank didn't get this. I'm going to show you what this is leading up to. See this pocketbook?
Yeah, I've had several versions.
Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is you see the handle. It's a cord, right? It's a cord. You know this is original, correct?
Yeah.
You see the cord? It's a cord, right?
Right.
Now, stay with me, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get another one now.
Let me show this real quick while you're doing that. So this Let It Be Naked I have sealed has gone down in value. To show you the Beatles' value doesn't always go up because the Wing of Pegasus YouTube channel came out 2 weeks ago and says this release from 2003, Paul's voice is auto-tuned. So the value of this has gone down since that. From now on, I'm just going to focus on Beatle albums that were pressed from 1980 or before. I want to hear the Beatles with their vocals, their mistakes, that it's more natural to your ear. When you hear that auto-tune stuff, it's just not natural.
I think we need 33.
No.
33.
What did you say?
We need 33. We're at 24, 67.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to what I was showing you. You see this? This is not official, but the reason why I'm showing you this again, this is a beach bag. It is from the 60s, and you see the handle again? It's a cord, right? Yeah. I'm trying to show you the point of something. This is an official item. It's got a cord for the handle. This is a not official item from the same period. It has a cord. Why has it got a cord? Because in the 60s, that was the style. Now I'm going to show you something that I guess my buddy Frank overlooked. I got this on eBay last week.
Oh, you're going to rub it in, Mikey.
Wait a minute. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I saw that.
Okay.
Let me guess what that went for. $344.
No, I didn't spend that much.
$244.
But I'm letting you know that I think this is not official.
Yeah.
But I think it's real. Why? The cord. This isn't a new item, okay?
No.
And I think it belongs. This is what they call a shoulder bag the girls wore.
Right.
They wore it like sideways, kind of, right? I think it was like this, kind of. I don't really understand it. Remember, it's for a kid. It's not for an adult. It's a small bag, but this I never saw before. Did you ever see this before?
No, I had that on watch, and I was going to call you about that, but I forgot to bring it up.
Yeah. So I never saw it before. I think it's dated from the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it licensed? Probably not. But I think it's a nice item. And the reason why I say it's dated from the 60s is because I proved the point that in the 60s, these things had cords. That was the style.
That's what you need to ask there, Mikey.
By the way, I'm happy you mentioned that. Terry, we're wishing Terry to get better. Terry was in a car accident, everybody.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And thank God he's going to be okay. But it was, from what I understand, we wish him well, and we hope for a speedy recovery, man. All right,
Elliot, you're 15. Your goal is to buy a butcher cover when you're older, but it's too expensive for your budget. Well, you're somebody like you is in the same boat. 11-year-old Jack's number one thing to get in Beatles collecting is a butcher cover.
And then Vulpi baby's asking about the Let It Be.
Yes, it is confirmed, Paul. They used auto-tune on Let It Be Naked. It is confirmed.
Yeah. I kind of get annoyed watching that stuff, though, because he's ripping up, he's getting into the guts of production. Now, just think about this. When Strawberry Fields was released, right? Know they dropped down his voice.
Yeah, the octave.
Why do you have to look at auto-tuning as a negative? It's a creative technology, all right? There are many ways of looking at things, all right?
But my point is, we would rather hear Paul sing Long and the Winding Road with his true inflection and his mistakes.
Well, you're right about one thing, that the whole point of Let It Be Naked was to hear it raw.
Yeah.
Right? In this case, you're 100% correct. When you said Let It Be Naked, the concept is you're having the raw without all the BS in it, right?
Right.
So why auto-tune it?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You should put that puppet on a dummy body. If you ever have people over, turn off the lights and put it.
Did you see there was a Beatles lamp that's up on eBay right now that lights up from behind?
No, I want to know about it.
Yeah.
Send it to me. I want to see. Is it real? No.
You would know. I don't know. It looks real. It looks real.
Elliot. Maybe I'll name this guy Elliot.
Huh.
Paul Elliot.
Hey, Elliot, we would like to get you up.
Elliot.
Elliot, would you like to do an interview with us? What do you want to do? In 2 weeks or 4 weeks there, Mikey?
I don't care.
Elliot, you want to do an interview with us in 2 weeks? Get a hold of me at my Mr._Stickermania@yahoo.com.
Listen, after seeing that puppet, he's not going to be allowed to be on our show. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm saying get Tom Beatles Pro too when he gets.
And Tom Beatles Pro. That's our want list for this summer.
Yeah, Tom. I would like to be on a show with him. But anyway, listen, guys.
Me and Little Jack have to be on a show sometime. It would be a blast. I can't say my collection is as big as Jack's, but a collection all right. I have 3 box set and a couple vinyls. Yeah, we get both of you up there. That would be great. Because we'll prove the point that the Beatles legend is not going to be forgot about when me and Mikey and us first generation Beatle fans are all gone.
Yeah. See, I'm causing nightmares with that guy. Yeah. Everybody, don't forget, watch my shorts on YouTube. I'm pushing my shorts because my shows are good, but I don't necessarily think you can sit through an hour and a half. But the shorts are like 1 minute, and I'm in the streets basically asking people, do you know who the 4 Beatles are? Okay. Frank, so let's show them how it works. What's your first name?
Frank.
Frank, can you tell me the name of the 4 Beatles?
Let me think about it. I know what 3 of them: Paul, Ringo, and John Lennon. I
What
can't
about
remember the fourth one.
the quiet one?
Huh? The quiet one. Give me a hint.
Okay. Who's the first president?
George Washington. Oh, George.
George. Okay, Frank. What's your favorite Beatles song?
Favorite Beatles song? I'm not going to go there. I have 200 of them.
Yeah. I say there's so many. But the only reason why I ask people that is because I want to see if they even know one song.
Yeah.
Right? And some of them, they can't name one song.
I know.
I did one the other day. She called George McCartney, right?
I saw that. That's good.
There was a video I did where, who's in the Beatles? The guy was very confident. Mick Jagger. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy. Yeah. But then sometimes you interview younger people and they know everything about them.
What does that mean? I stare at Mikey shorts all the time. What does that mean?
He just watches them. I'm guessing is what he means.
Oh, it's funny. I thought he meant my pants.
He might be actually.
Thank You Girl is a fantastic early Beatles song. Thank You Girl. Those early Beatles songs, they just pull at your emotion strings, just kind of like the new artists do now, like Benson Boone and Sombra. And the Beatles had it when they were young too.
Yeah.
It's all about, she loves you. I want to hold your hand. Thank you, girl. From me to you. It was all simplistic that everybody could relate to.
I'm thinking that I should be on Uncle Paul's Playhouse with these guys. Uncle Paul,
Elliot,
you should invite me.
Elliot, how many people do you think love Beatles for Sale? I bet you there's a lot of people on this chat right now that like Beatles for Sale. Mikey, you like Beatles for Sale, but you don't think it's their greatest album, right?
No. I can't stand some songs on that album. I hate Mr. Moonlight.
I knew you were going to say that. Mr. Moonlight.
Mr. Moonlight, come again, please. Here's the reason why. I got to tell you why I hate that song. The Farfisa organ does not go with Beatle music. Okay? When that Farfisa solo comes in, you know what a Farfisa organ is, right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of organ.
Records and Trains likes it because of Mr. Moonlight.
No. That organ is corny, man. It sounds like a bar mitzvah or a wedding or something. With the wedding, like the wedding group is playing that song. Okay? Another song I hate, A Taste of Honey. Okay? Doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you on that.
Yeah. There are so many songs the Beatles did on the BBC that, like Soldier of Love. If we had a good version of Soldier of Love, right?
Yeah.
What's the song that says, Keep My Hands Off My Baby? What's that one that John sings?
Keep Your Hands Off My Baby, yeah.
Great song. I wish we had good versions of those things. Maybe with AI or something, they'll fix those.
Yeah, Danny, you're right. That Beatles for Sale, that pressing, some reason, that stereo tube cut is better than any other Beatles album from that time period. The sound is just like they're right in the room with you.
All right, listen.
Mikey, you've never heard a -1 tube cut, so you don't know.
No, I'll tell you why I don't know. Because you need a good turntable to hear it.
Yeah.
Right? You know what? Someday I'm going to have to go to Kentucky. We'll go on like a bourbon tour or something. Then we'll go back to your place and you'll play the music for me.
All right.
You know.
Do that.
All right. Yeah.
John H. doesn't like Taste of Honey or Mr. Moonlight.
No.
Oh, those are his least favorite.
There you go, man. We think alike.
If you don't believe Frank about the sound quality, you got to get the tube cut -1 of Beatles for Sale. Way to go, Whoopi.
I got one question for you, and then I'm going to get off this place. All right. A Hard Day's Night, I happen to think is the best album. On the Dead Wax, what's the best Dead Wax you can get on that?
Hard Day's Night. I think it's a -2.
Right. And why is that, though? Why can't you get a -1? What does that mean?
Sometimes the first pressing, the first cut of a Beatles album had problems and they had to recut it. Harry T. Moss had to recut it. But on Beatles for Sale, they got it right the first time. It's like Rubber Soul. It took 5 times, 5 different cuts to get it right.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys, I just hate to tell you, Mikey has got to go home. I'm not home. Okay, so I got to go home. And I got to put all this crap away before I go home. So that takes a little bit of time. So with that, I want to say sayonara. My scary Paul, I'm not going to take him out again because I don't want to leave you with nightmares. I love you guys. I love Frank. I love Travis. I love you kids. All right. And I appreciate the opportunity to share my kookiness with you. So till next time, Arrivederci.
2 weeks from now, Mikey.
All right, man.
Thanks. See
Bye.
you all.